And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Darian Talks UTSA. Um, okay, I believe I am good to go from an audio standpoint because I know every week that is something that has been a thing, but I am checking my audio levels and they look good to me, and I hope they sound well for you guys. But anyway, it is UTSA versus Army week, a week that we have talked about for quite some time because we've always dreaded that game because Army has been a team that UTSA has historically struggled with, although we did win in the last meeting in overtime in 2022. Um, but they're 3-1 with us, right? We've only beat them one time out of the four meetings, and this is a big week. This means to me a lot. A win this week changes the entire complexion of the way the season has went. You can argue that happened with the win over Temple last week because now we're bowl eligible. We're going to go bowling now in a season where it didn't look like we were going to do that, and now we've accomplished that. But we've already beat a ranked team earlier in the season, and now we have another crack at it with Army. I believe they're ranked 18th. I should check that really quick because I think that's important. And putting my cards on the table, they're ranked 19th actually. So putting my cards on the table, I certainly think UTSA is going to win this game, and I know I'm saying that with a lot more confidence then some people are going to hear that and they're going to think like, oh my God, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. But I hinted at this last week that one of the things that I think is important is you got to look at momentum and the trajectory of where a team goes. And one of the things that I thought was key is as we approach this game, Army's offense has struggled, right? They haven't put up a ton of points over the last few games. And one of the reasons when you think about the blistering start that they got off to, obviously Army started the season with a great defense. They've done great things defensively, but the thing that really, really made them look different this year is the amount of points they were putting up on people. You know, 42 points in their season opener. They put up 42 against Temple, 45 against East Carolina, 44 against UAB. They put up 37 on Rice. They've just blown the doors off of people. But if you were to look at some things, Air Force, they won that game, but it was 20-3. They beat Rice, but they only scored 14 points. And then they got dominated by that Notre Dame team. And they're coming in, and they only scored 14 points in that game as well. So it's very, very interesting on what's going on. So I'm looking at something right here. 19th might not be where they're ranked. They might be. I'm seeing that Army is ranked 25 in the AP and 22 in the coaches poll. So either way, it's still another opportunity for us to go in and beat a ranked team. Before I get into all of that, though, if you guys could like and subscribe to the channel, I'll tell you right now, those likes and those subscriptions are going to be even more important because I announced on my Twitter, was that this morning or yesterday? I forget. Listen, guys, I'm moving, so excuse me for being crazy. This is actually the final episode in this room, right? So I should be moving tomorrow. So this will be the last episode in this setup. I am going to take most of the stuff in my office/studio here over to my new place, but I'm probably going to switch up some things. So this will be the last episode in here. So that'll be interesting. But anyway, one of the things I announced on Twitter is UTSA is still going to be the core and the foundational piece of my content. So I want to assure you guys that I'm not going to simmer down my football coverage, but I am certainly going to open up a little bit more into some of the other sports and some of the other bigger stories that I love to cover just around sports in general. I pay a lot of attention to UTSA, obviously, but I have an extensive background in covering MMA. I did that for a few years after college. I've covered other college teams as well after college, extensively for some pretty big websites, and I covered MMA for one of the promotions and a top TV company before, and I like to flex those muscles again. So yeah, I'll be covering some Spurs stuff to start out because I know a lot of the Spurs stuff, really resonate with you guys in San Antonio. But yeah, I will be expanding. So your likes and your subscriptions will be huge because as I sort of go on this journey, I want to expand that community and bring in more folks. So anyway, I wanted to sort of announce that here that that's happening. You should start to see some changes in some of my thumbnails and some of the ways I tweet and things like that, or the things I tweet about. So yeah, that'd be great. Also, want to say the Temple game. I want to give a brief recap before I get into your questions and comments. Make sure you guys fill up the comments section while I'm doing this so I can get to them. But I think one of the things I will say about the Temple game is it wasn't clean, it wasn't perfect, but we got it done, and that just shows to me, where this team is and that we're really reeling and we're really showing our stuff. You just got to give hats off to guys like Zay Frazier, who's just turned. I mean, that dude is just balling. You gotta look. You look at Jamori Robinson, who won defensive player of the week. I think he has 7 tackles, 4 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss. Dude was incredible. I mean, defensively, we had some standout performances. Offensively, Owen McCown really got it going again. And I think, listen, he had 2 interceptions. Got to be more careful with the ball. But I like the decisiveness. I like his decision making. That long run that he had, just his decisiveness to when he runs the ball, has been really good as of late, and I think it's added another element to his game that's going to open up more opportunities in the passing game as well. So I was really happy to see that. David Amador is just a star. That's all. That's just what you got to call him. He's a star. He's someone who is emerging as probably going to be I think he alongside probably McCown and somebody on defense. He's probably going to be the face of the program. He's poised to be the face of the program. The way he's being used, I expect him to have a big game against Army. I expect him to show out in the bowl game. That kid has a lot of talent. He's special, and we just continue to build upon what we've done. One of the reasons and it's the main reason why I'm really excited about this game against Army, because if you look at what the door is going off again. It's just so funny how my wife loves to go in and out the house whenever the show starts. So it always startles me when the door opens and closes because I have like a door chimer right outside this door here. Anyway, but yeah, no, what I was saying was, when you think about what we've put together in these last few weeks, like this is the UTSA that we were all sort of thinking about coming into the season, right? This is the team that, folks were like, hey, this team can go, I think I predicted 10-2 or something like that. This is because this is what we expected to see. We expected to see this level of competency on both sides of the ball. Can I share something with you guys? Look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, look at the last 5 games. UTSA is 4-1, and I want to do the math here really quick on how much we've averaged in terms of offensive output in these 5 games. Because to me, it is shocking at how different these last 5 games has been for UTSA on that side of the ball compared to the first, few games that we played. So you go 50, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, we're averaging 45. We're averaging 45 points a game. 45 points a game, folks, over the last 5. That's incredible, number one. And I don't care what defenses you play against. We did that. One of those games, guys, was against Memphis. It was against Memphis. You don't take that lightly. Memphis is 8-2, folks. Memphis is 8-2. So I just think that though that is extremely impressive, and I think it's extremely important to why um, everybody wants to call me too. But yeah, I think it's extremely impressive, and it's something that I'm looking at when I look at Army coming in, who have been struggling offensively, and considering the way our defense has been playing and our offense has been playing. It's like, is Army gonna really? I mean, I'm gonna knock on wood here, but is Army really gonna hold UTSA to under 14 points or under 20 points like they've been doing with some of these other teams? You know, are they? Are they? I don't know about that. So I just think football is about momentum. At what point do you meet? Like, timing in meeting a team is almost everything. Like, for example, Memphis came across UTSA at the wrong time. It was the wrong time to play a UTSA team, and they paid for it. Right now, Army is going to get a UTSA team that believes now, because we were in a situation where everybody lost belief. The players looked like they weren't responding to coach, and it has slowly changed. Now the discourse around UTSA is more positive. Now you're seeing more energy in interviews, and you're seeing more just positive energy and positive vibes around the program, and it gets contagious. And I'm telling you guys, there's almost nothing more important in football than momentum, and then confidence. And now you got a confident UTSA team, a confident UTSA offense, a quarterback playing the best ball of his life, and you have defenders who started off a little rocky, now playing the best ball that they've played all year. Dude, Army is running up against UTSA at the worst possible time. And guess what? UTSA is facing Army at the best possible time, because Army is at their worst point of the season. They haven't scored. They haven't scored well, right? They haven't scored well recently, and they're just coming off a brutal loss, their first loss of the season to Notre Dame, which they probably didn't expect to beat Notre Dame, but a loss is a loss. And they're going to be looking to come fight back, and they're going to come out and punch us in the mouth. But if we take the lead early, heads will drop on that sideline on the opposing side. I am telling you. So anyway, those are my quick thoughts. That's the main reason why I'm excited for this game, because I do think UTSA has a huge opportunity to come in and upset this team. All right, I'll start and get to your questions now. Mike says UTSA. Shout out to Mike. He was first. Mike says UTSA can win this weekend. They have to be aggressive on offense and take their shots downfield. I would like to see them continue to utilize the tight end in the passing game as well. That's what we do. Owen McCown likes to throw the ball in the middle of the field, especially on them seam balls. He finds those tight ends quite a bit. They've also just been a safety blanket for him and a tool of reliability for him, and that's huge. So I certainly expect aggressiveness, and it's so funny, it's so crazy how different our offense looks whenever we're aggressive and we're taking shots downfield early and often. It seems to just unlock the defense, right? It seems to unlock everything. So yeah. Mike says, look for Amador to have his best game of this season. It's going to be tough to top the game he had against. He just went off against who was it? It wasn't Temple, North Texas. I sure hope so. He had 9 for 122 in the tug against North Texas. I sure hope he can. I sure hope he does. Fast food. Shout out to my man Fast Food Toy Box. Chosen One says, what's up with April's tweet and delete? That was random. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. Here's the thing, man. I think I have a lot of respect for April and what she's done for the program, and I wouldn't ever, she's. I think I told you guys a story. She was incredibly gracious with her time with me a while back. Whenever I was getting some advice from her about the car business, whenever I had my own car, myself and my family, we had a car lot, and she shared some data points with me that she had no business sharing. It was very open and gracious with her time, and her you know on that phone call showing me the ropes as she could explain it with the allotted time that we had. um so I am appreciative of what she did there. I'm appreciative for what she does for the program, because she does a lot, folks. There's a lot that she doesn't talk about that she does. And listen, the funny thing is, like, when you poke her, she does go on some of these Twitter tirades, and she does. I don't know how to explain it. She will, like, buck back at you and let you know how she feels and what she does for the program, and kind of in a way to say y'all should be grateful. I don't agree with the way she communicates some of that all the time, but um, I can say, just from knowing some of the things that she does, and that this is not stuff that she's telling me, just from what I hear from other people, um, she is very important to UTSA right now. Now, that doesn't mean that she doesn't do things wrong, or there's things she shouldn't engage in. I think some of the stuff on Twitter that she's done recently, I don't think it's super necessary all the time, especially for a woman of her stature and what she represents and what she does. But it is what it is. Twitter is also a place for that type of thing, though, right? Like, there's gonna be drama on Twitter. There's gonna be people going back and forth on Twitter. I am of the mindset of, and everybody's not like this, and there's no right or wrong. I am of the mindset that it's Twitter. Understand the type of banter that you're going to get on Twitter. You can't take Twitter super serious. People are going to halfway be on fake accounts, or accounts where they can't be identified or something like that. And they're going to say stuff off the handle. And you have to, especially if you're someone in the spotlight like her, you're going to be subject to people critiquing, criticizing, challenging, so on and so forth. And you just got to ignore some of that stuff if it's not positive. And you can't fall for some of the traps that some of these people set. So yeah, it is what it is. I hope that situation works itself out, and you kind of go from there. I mean, the tweet and delete stuff, that's fine. I mean, people do that type of stuff all the time. I've done the same thing, to be very clear. When I've said some things that I'm like, this is probably not productive. But yeah. Well, what I will say is, if you notice a lot of these issues when people have these blowups on Twitter, a lot of it in the UTSA space is, there's always people trying to tell people how to fan. I think that's a bad idea every day of the week, no matter who's telling somebody what. I don't care if it comes from, a donor or a non-donor. It's very difficult. Is you just treading choppy waters when you tell people how they should be a fan of something and tell people how they should react to things. I think we get in trouble there. Chosen One says, I'm confident with our run stopping. Secondary is iffy still. Yeah, I'm confident in our run stopping as well. Secondary it shows flashes, but if I'm being honest, here's what you want from a secondary. And understand that I have played in the secondary all my life for the most part. I played corner for UTSA. I think I started 33 games for UTSA. Played in 38, started 33 over the course of my career. And what I'll tell you about the secondary is, you're not going to stop everything. People, like, because a corner or a safety gives up a big play, whenever it happens, there's an easy person to blame. That corner let that guy run past them. It is very difficult to guard some of these receivers and some of the schemes that these teams drop. It's very difficult to guard that and mute it all, especially in the college game. It's just the truth. But what you want is what you don't want in the secondary is, hey, they keep getting punished, but they don't ever punish the offense back, right? I can't say that Zay Frazier has punished teams that's went after him quite a bit and has made game-changing plays that has given our offense an opportunity to take more control of the game. That's what you want. So although the secondary is not perfect, they still need to tackle better after a receiver catches the ball. That's a big one that we still haven't cleaned up yet. We still do need to make some plays, but I seen Cyrus Dumas, or however you pronounce his name. I seen him make a beautiful tackle on a third down, where corners don't get enough credit. The corners who can tackle and bring the hat, they don't get the credit for some of those big plays that they make. But like, that's what I mean. Like, those, you need corners that's going to be able to get you off the field, whether that be a PBU, a big time tackle, or interception, a forced fumble, or something like that. The guys, at least in recent times, have made enough plays, enough valuable plays throughout the course of a game, and that has halted the opposing offense and has put us in a position to win games. So yes, the secondary is iffy. However, they have been a playmaking secondary, and that's something that you can live with. It won't kill you. You obviously need others to support them as well, like a good front seven, which our front seven from a run standpoint has done a good job, and they've got after the passer a lot as well. But I think our secondary has rounded into shape a little bit, and I'm okay with some of what I've seen from them. Shout out to Hassan. He's shouting out the runners. Who do I think will win Heisman? I'd probably go with the Ashton Jeanty from Boise State or Travis Hunter. Listen, the funny thing about Travis Hunter is, like, people, I see that they're creating this narrative of like, oh, the jack of all trades is a master of none. Like, bro, you don't know how difficult it is to play the cornerback position on the Division I level and he's guarding the best guy, on the opposing team, and they can't get anything on him really. I think he's given up one touchdown all year, and he almost intercepts everything that comes his way. Come on, that's a different type of dude, right? Like, that's a first round draft pick corner every day of the week. And that receiver, the type of ball skills he has, I don't know if he's a first round draft pick receiver only, but he's going to be in that upper tier. I don't think he'd fall out of the second round if he was just a receiver. To try to tell him, and then if you look at it statistically, he's one of the top receivers in the league in every category. Yeah, I mean, he can definitely win Heisman, honestly. But I don't think it'll be out of those two. The runners will remain undefeated at West Point. Birds up by 1 million this Saturday. I hope so, and I think so. I think this is just a bad time for Army to see us. I really and truly believe that. I could be wrong, but I don't think I will be. Jamie says, would be hilarious if we beat 2 ranked teams on our down year. Yeah, it would be great. But then it brings in a question: is this a down year? If we win and we finish 7-5 and we beat 2 ranked teams and then go on to win a bowl game and finish the season out 8-5 with our second bowl victory of our short history, that'd be excellent. I wouldn't consider that a down year at all. It just started like a down year. You got to give Coach Traylor a lot of credit still at making, at getting these guys to believe and right the ship, man. That triangle and what he's selling down there, the guys are buying it, and I think that's huge. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Yes, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to everyone. I hope you guys enjoy your family, enjoy some good food, and I hope everybody stays safe. What bowl do you want us to go to? I don't really care, honestly. Like, the bowl stuff for me, like, I want the bowl that gives us the most notoriety. I want the bowl that gives us the best team to play. And I want it to be on a good date. That's what I'm here for. So whatever bowl that is, that's the one I'm here for. Mike says, "I'd love to get a crack at Texas State in a bowl matchup this year. That would be sick. That would be sick. Yeah. If there's ever a time to get on a plane and go somewhere, yeah, that would be bonkers. I don't know the likelihood of that, but if somebody could make that happen, that would be bonkers because it'll be nice to see Texas. It would be nice to see them now. Like, oh, we figured it out. What, like let pop all that noise now, talk all that noise now. You know, I don't think they want to see us now. But credit to them. To be fair, they've had a good year, and you know they are doing okay. So they lost to Georgia State. Wow, I didn't. I'm just now seeing this. I literally never pay attention. They lost to Georgia State. Wow, that's crazy. 6-5. Oh, that would be sick if we could play them again. Hey, yo, we need to go. We need to go and campaign for this or something on Twitter. Like that would be sick, right? Oh, we should go. Yeah, hey, yo, we should start like a campaign. Texas State, UTSA bowl game. Let's go. Let's go. Kevin Lee. He says, now that Army is in the championship game, do you think they will sit players rather than jeopardize possible injury this? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they're looking at it that way. They want to get a huge bowl too. There's financial implications would suggest that they want to win. They want to win as much as they can. They want to win as much as they can, and finish as high as they possibly can. Because they're probably hoping that they can look up to a bowl opponent too at some point. At this point, so no, I don't think they will. Yeah, I don't think they will. She says all of my content is either UTSA football, UFC, and Spurs basketball. Excited for you to branch out. Yeah, man, I've really I was talking to some of my friends about this prior to like rebranding and shifting into just doing UTSA, and the debate at the time was I want to do all the other stuff, but um I need to get my footing with an audience. I need to build up an audience first. And that's why I went on this huge campaign of subscribe, road to 1,000 subscribers and all that type of stuff, and pumping out all that content. Um, is because I was just trying to establish something of a community, and I think I've done that to a degree. We're small, but community nonetheless. You guys are here with me every week, which is also great. And I think that I have more to offer is what I'm trying to explain. Is what I'm trying to say. And what I don't want to do is offer just UTSA off-season content throughout the entire time where you got things like the NBA playoffs, the NFL playoffs and things like that, big UFC cards and things like that. I don't want to miss out covering those events. Because I would like to do this stuff year round. I don't want to be like, trying to draw up random recruiting stories in the off season. I just think this will be a lot better. So yes, I am very excited for that. Trimex Soccer 360 says, "What do you think about the new proposed Alamo Dome look with the open roof?" Yeah, I seen that. That would be like, yeah, you know what I'll say to that? I have seen multiple times on multiple different tweets and multiple sites that the Alamo Dome is one of the ugliest venues ever. It's not my comment. This is just what I've seen. So I did see some of the I seen the new proposed look and it looks really nice. Um, so yeah, that would be sick. That would be sick. I think the whole project that they got going on is going to be sick in San Antonio, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like. I think it's going to inject some energy and some life into San Antonio sports, and that's something we need. Like, here's the thing: something like that for people to want to like. If the Alamo Dome gets like renovations or whatever, like it's going to make people want to go and experience the new dome. And it's like, you know, people will be looking for a reason to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure I would as well. So people are going to want to go and access those new venues in any way that they can and have these like super sports days or sports weekends or whatever. So I think it's all positive. It's all positive. And they're just with sports and with the stuff that they're bringing in, there's just other attractions. It's just going to I think inject some energy into San Antonio and in that area specifically, making it more walkable and accessible and things like that is all something I'm sure they're going to figure out. But yeah, I thought the new proposed look looks pretty cool. A black guy, shout out to a black guy. He says, we went from wanting the offensive coordinator fired to being an explosive offense. I'll be honest with you. As much as I'm happy with what we're putting up, like I said, if I am able to get the film to work the way I want it to work, I'll tell you why I still prefer another offensive coordinator. I am I am not like going to say, "Oh my God, he needs to be fired. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out." Listen, I get it. Like he's done a job. It's still not my favorite. I mean, he did one of those. He did a bonehead play or two against Temple, where folks, if you just go check my mentions, there were some folks that were really really upset last week. Yeah, I'm still not a big fan, but I will say we're getting results, and I'll take that. I hardly ever drink soda, like ever. Um, well, in this way, but today I was like, I want a cherry coke, so I stopped and got me a cherry coke. Winston says, I think the key to beating Army is starting out quick. Army isn't built to play from behind, but once they have a lead, it is tough to come back. Possessions will be limited, so we need to make them count. Yes, this is a great call out here, Winston. 100%. Yeah. So whenever you're playing a team like Army, you're exactly right. If we start out and put pressure on them early, like for example, if we win the coin toss, let's receive and let's put a touchdown up quick. They're not going to be able to play catch up the way most teams are able to play catch up. So you go up 14, 20 points on a team like Army, especially with them struggling, they don't typically have the firepower to go downfield um, and get it back quickly. Now, here's what I will say. In our last game against Army, was it our last game or our game before last? Dude, we gave up like 300 and something yards against them. Like no joke. Or on it through the air. Like, let me see. I want to go back and find the box score to our last game against Army. It was insane. Yeah. Okay. No, we played them in 23. Why did I say that we played them last? Yeah, I did wrong with myself. I was wrong earlier whenever I talked about the last time we played them, we won. We actually lost, but it's not this game that we lost. The game that we overtimed them in 2022, the game that we won. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, all right, here we go. They had 300 and almost, what is this, 300 and something yards passing against us. Army. They had 300. I can't do the math right here. Yeah, they had just over 300 yards passing through the air against us. So I highlight that to say you don't want that to come back. You don't want that to happen. But yeah, if we can get a lead out on these guys pretty quick, they're gonna have trouble. They're gonna have trouble, especially with the guys we got up front. We got some guys up front that I don't care who you got on your offensive line, you're gonna have trouble with those guys. Jamori Robinson. Um, what's our big guy up the middle? Uh, I'm drawing a blank. Brandon Brown. There you go. Like those are players that'll be playing on Sundays. they're gonna have their work cut out for them if they let us get up. But I think they're gonna have their work cut out for them regardless. I really like our chances in this matchup. I'll say that. Um, Mr. Meep says chances of a bowl matchup with Texas State. I want revenge. Yeah, listen, somebody was mentioning that earlier, bro. If we, hey, we need to make some noise or something on Twitter and try to make that happen. Like that would be insane. That would be insane. Winston says, I completely agree with Mike about Texas State as an ideal bowl opponent. I would love to get another crack at them. I bet we win round two. I absolutely believe we win round two. 100%. 100%. You know how crazy that would be? Do you know how crazy that would be? My gosh. I'm getting excited talking about it. Is that at all a possibility? I haven't seen that anywhere. Or are we just like dreaming this up and I'm getting excited about something that's like literally not possible? You know, like I love another crack at him, honestly. UTSA definitely has a chance to win, but please no more illegal procedures from the offensive line. Coach must be losing his mind. Happens every game at least a couple of times. You know what? That's a good point. And it makes me think, or it brings me to penalties. We had 9 penalties against Temple. Too much. 8 against North Texas. 7 against Memphis. Here's what I'll say. Like 6, oh no, 12 against Tulsa. Yeah, we lost, and we lost deservingly. And 5 against FAU. I mean, if I'm like being completely honest, we've cut down on the penalties a little bit. Still get penalized too much, but we've cut down on the penalties a little bit compared to early in the season where we were like constantly double digits. So I'll take that. But yeah, no, it's the illegal procedure stuff. That's just is due to bad install and guys not knowing what to do. Uh, let's see. Browntown says haven't been paying too much attention lately, but how come Oscar in getting a whole lot of playing time? Ain't Oscar's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt. Yeah, he's done for the year. By the way, Browntown. Yeah, he's hurt. Texas Tech versus UTSA is better than playing Texas State for the brand. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, like let's be clear. The Texas State game would be nice. Like, don't get me wrong, that'll be cool. It'll be cool because it'll be high stakes rivalry game and a bowl game. But yeah, if we could land a team like Texas Tech, I would. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be great. It's Rab says playing Texas State is what hurts the UTSA brand in the bigger picture, associating them with the bottom of the barrel Texas teams. Um, it's yeah, no, wait. Yeah, associating with the bottom barrel of the Texas teams is what holds us back as a brand here in SA. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with large parts of that. Yeah, I agree with that. Those bigger Texas teams, we do need to start looking eye to eye with them, right? We've at least under trailer have maintained a level of consistency and um, you know, good results to where we can start looking up to that next level. You think about U of H's rise to where now they're in the Big 12. I'm not saying we are where U of H was back in back in the day, but especially in the year of NIL, we're nowhere near that. But I'm sort of talking about the level of consistency that they were able to maintain for a while, which has now got them into a position where they were elevating conferences, and they've elevated themselves to the Big 12. And I think what It's Rap is pointing out right now is that if you continue to associate UTSA with the Texas States, the Rice, the UNTs, and the UTEPs, some of these big moves that folks want the Pac-12 and these other opportunities and things like that. Some of these big moves may not we may not be looked at as much for some of them because we're associating ourselves with mediocre teams, pretty much. So I understand that. I understand that point. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I got a notification thing set up now. So if my mic goes out, somebody will tell us. Somebody will tell me, or the stream will tell me. So I think I'm good to go. If y'all can't hear me, scream in the chat. I'm looking at it. Defense got to show up. Yeah, I agree 100%. Here's another thing too. We can't get like the point earlier that someone made was, hey, we need to take a lead early because based on the way they play, it's going to be hard for them to play catch up. Well, the same is also said for if they go up. They play the possession game really, really well, and they're okay with getting 3 to 4 yards a play all the way down the field. Right? That they're okay with that. They'll go for it on fourth down if it's short yardage. They'll just run the clock out, run the clock out. If they get up 14 points or 21 points, then we're in trouble. And it's not because we can't stretch the field. It's because they probably are going to keep, if we can't stop them, they're going to keep the ball for 7-8 minutes of drive, which is a problem. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but I feel like they had one of the longest drives. Was it Army? I feel like I seen a stat. I could be wrong about this, but I feel like I seen a stat where like Army had one of the longest drives of the season or of the maybe in history where they took like, was that Army that took 13 minutes on one drive? It was like the entire quarter. You know how brutal that had to be for the opposing team. Chosen One says we ran the ball all 4 downs on one possession against Temple without attempting to pass it. Yeah, I think I see. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the OC situation. Yeah, that was puzzling for some folks. Josh says I am eating my words on McCown, but the OC I think is still lacking in his ability to scheme on the go and predicting the defense in the moment. Yeah. I'm definitely eating. I'm with you, Josh. I'm eating words on McCown as well. What he's shown as of late is not what I expect. I didn't think he had some of this in his toolbox. I still think he has some improvement to do, though. I still think things aren't perfect, although they are a lot better. And I still think we benefit from bringing in a quarterback or, still raising the level in that quarterback room. I still think we'll benefit from that because he'll benefit from that. But we still need to raise the level, bring somebody in that's going to be a real competitor for that job. And I'm sure he'll be the shoe-in starter going into the first year. I think he's earned that. But in order for us to really take that next step next year to where we're competing for a conference title, I think he's still, although he's playing well to sort of this second half of the season, he still has a ways to go to be a conference champion quarterback. So I think that'll be his next sort of progression. Yeah, I agree 100% on the OC. Like I said, there's still a lot of things that I am still not a fan of from my OC, but like I said, we're getting results, so you got to take it. By the way, I am glad to be eating my words on the count. So am I. The O-line is really helping, and CJ seems like he is finally taking over as a leader in the trenches. Yeah. The offensive line, a huge credit to them. It's funny because all we talked about in the very beginning of the year was the offensive line, right? And you know what's real funny? It's not funny. It just shows how selfless the offensive line's job is. All the attention in this turnaround has been on Traylor, McCown, the OC. The offensive line is the reason that offense is starting to turn a lot better because we're running the ball better and we're passing the ball better. And it starts with that offensive line. So they got kicked by all of us, myself included. And they should be the ones getting more of the credit, getting as much credit as we're giving McCown and as folks are giving the offensive coordinator and things like that. So huge shout out to the offensive line for turning their season around and being the engine that's making this offense go. It's not in the skill positions. It's never in the skill positions. The skill positions can't do anything if the offensive line is not doing their jobs. And now that the skill positions are um, um, doing well, it's all because the offensive line is opening up lanes for Robert Henry to take it 80 yards or 70 yards or something like that. We weren't getting those lanes earlier in the season. We are getting them now. So huge shout out to the offensive line. They've really put in a shift. They've really stayed resilient, and they've, been resistant to what the narrative has been around them, and they've changed that. So they deserve a boatload of credit for how they have turned the offensive season around. Mr. Meep says, I agree with It's Rap. Texas State is not the level we need to. However, F those Bobcats. Let's get revenge. I'm with you, Mr. Meep. I'm with you, Mr. Meep. UTSA versus Tech is 1,000% a better matchup for our program than Texas State. Yeah, I would agree. Would be best if we ditched Texas State for Texas Tech or SMU. I wouldn't mind SMU. I wouldn't mind SMU at all. I wouldn't mind them at all. It was UNT, yeah. So it was UNT and Army, where Army had that 13-minute drive. I know UNT was probably like, bro, what is this? What is this? We're toward the end, so if you have any more questions or comments, make sure you drop them in the comment section as we are toward the end here. Buddy says, if there was any time in the season to beat Army, it's now. UTSA is hiding. Army just had a crushing loss. That's exactly what my point was earlier. I just think this is a great time for UTSA and not a great time for Army. Army's struggled to put up points as of late over the last 3 games. They haven't scored much. They certainly hadn't been scoring around the same clip that they were scoring in the first, 7 games of the season, 6, 7 games of the season, where they were almost scoring 40 every game. And then now UTSA, over the last 5 games, we're averaging 45 points, which is huge. So, yeah, just a bad time for Army to play us. We found some confidence. They're probably looking in the mirror a little bit because they probably had some games over the last, they lost to Notre Dame bad, and then those other games were probably a lot closer than they thought they thought it was going to be. So yeah, I do think that UTSA is in a favorable position against them. It's Rab says, I got destroyed about pointing out the problem was the O-line at the beginning of the year when everyone was calling for McCown's head. Glad people caught up now on what the real issue was. Haha. Yeah, I hate you got destroyed. I think the offensive line was very bad in the beginning of the year. And I pointed out some of my film breakdowns was sort of exposing mishaps in what the offensive line was doing. So, yeah, you were definitely spot on about the offensive line. But I also think McCown wasn't good either to start the year. Even when he had time, he wasn't great. But both quarterback and offensive line have gotten it together now, and it is what it is. I'm glad that they've gotten it together, and I'm happy to support what we're looking like now, and we go from there. Hopefully, we get a dub this week. I think we're poised to do that, and I'm excited to see what goes down, man. I really, really am. But say goodbye to this studio. This will be the last show in this office. I'll be moving. So that's going to be interesting. You'll see a different setup whenever I return. I don't know if I'll have a show next week. It depends on if I have my setup at the new house all good, but I should be able to. I should be able to do sort of a season recap. I'm going to try to have a guest or two on. So if you guys could let me know on Twitter or somewhere in the comments who you guys would like to see me do a season recap with, that would be awesome. You can shoot me a DM or a message on Twitter and let me know, or just at me on Twitter and let me know who you think would be a good one. There's a few guys. There's a lot of guys I want to talk to. I want to talk to JJ. I want to talk to Greg Luca again. I'll probably have both of them on individually at some point to talk through some of this. Heck, I might try to get them on at the same time. I know they do a show. We might can do a. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. All right, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving holidays. Spend some time with the fam. And it'd be great to see some plates, man. Hit me up on Twitter and tag me in some of those Thanksgiving plates if you can. Peace out. I'll see y'all.